Hi, this is Nathan Cavedo from the Merced County Office of Education, your host for this episode of Community Conversations, a weekly radio show brought to you by KYOS. Community Conversations features local people talking about education, government, and community activities and issues in Merced County.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KYOS. Thanks for tuning in. Our first guest this week is Krista Saxon. She is the program representative for Fresno Pacific's Merced Regional Center. Krista, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's see. You are at Fresno Pacific, and that one, I've taken a class there.
Okay.
I took a leadership development class that MCOE offers,
Okay.
and the facility is over in I think it's El Portal. Is that
Yes,
what they call it?
yeah,
The
El Portal Plaza.
And a nice little facility you have there.
Yeah, we're small and cozy, but very homey feeling with 4 classrooms and offices.
Mm-hmm. So, and how long have you worked with them?
I've been at Fresno Pacific for about 2.5 years now.
And your job as program representative is to do radio shows?
Yeah, pretty much. No, pretty much just to be out in the community recruiting for our adult degree completion programs and now graduate programs and credential programs.
All right. And so that leads me to my first question. What kind of programs are offered at this Merced Center compared with the one in Fresno?
Right. Well, first of all, the Merced Regional Center, we're one of 4 regional centers. So we stretched from Merced down to Bakersfield with 2 other centers in North Fresno and in Visalia. Mm-hmm. So we're one of 4, the newest campus out of all 4 of them. And we offer the non-traditional adult degree completion programs.
And what do you mean by that, non-traditional?
By that, I mean they are programs designed for students who have either finished maybe some units, maybe have finished an associate's degree, but have not finished a bachelor's degree, mm-hmm. and maybe don't have time or the resources to be able to go back to a full-time program through a traditional college program. And so we offer these adult degree completion programs to finish a bachelor's degree, and they're offered at night from 6 to 10 p.m., and the classes are 1 night a week. So it's very adult friendly. It allows you to work full time as well as continue on your education journey.
So it would be let's say a week's worth of class, but in one evening. That's 6 to 10 slot.
Yeah. And so rather than having to go Monday through Friday, maybe during the day or in the evening, or a combination of all of that, it's just the 1 night a week from 6 to 10 p.m. and 1 class at a time for about 6 weeks in length. So it takes a semester-long class and it cuts it down into 6 weeks. And then that way you're only having to focus on really 1 class at a time.
So the kind of student that the center serves would be folks who, like you said earlier, maybe they missed a few units here and there and they need to make that up to get their bachelor's.
Yeah. I work with students who maybe never even went on to a college program and have 0 units to students who have over 100 units but have not finished their bachelor's degree. So we help students either finish classes through a community college or through some other options, or they can start taking classes with us right away. We just want to get them in and out in a successful and professional way possible.
And what kind of a degree typically would a student get, going to Fresno Pacific?
What they will end up with doing a degree completion program is a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And then they have the option, depending on what program that they're interested in, going on to either credential program that we just started at our center as well. So either a multiple subject or single subject credential. So if anyone is interested in teaching that K through 12 age range. And then we also offer a master's in teaching program. All of our other regional centers offer additional programs and graduate programs. So if something isn't the right fit here in Merced, they have the option of going down to one of our other regional centers as well.
And so the bachelor's would be in liberal arts?
The programs that we started right now is we have a bachelor's degree completion in early child development. Mm-hmm. So anyone who's interested in working with 0 to age 8 kids. And then we also offer a liberal arts degree. So if you're interested in teaching that K through 12, that would be a great program to be in. And
exactly, it is. Yes.
And then we also have a business administration degree with an emphasis in organizational leadership. So it's a business degree, but it focuses more on the people side of business than your typical management program. So those are the 3 programs of the 7 degree completion programs that are offered in Merced.
How many classrooms do you have over at this facility? I walked in and I went to the one immediately to the right, so I didn't really get to see the rest of the complex.
Yes, that's the biggest, our conference room, but we have 4 classrooms, and generally every night they are full. Whether it's with the cohort program, we just call every group that comes in with the programs, they're in a cohort model, so they're with the same group of students for the entire 18 months of the program. So those classrooms are either filled with cohort students or with general ed and elective students. We do offer some general ed and elective classes at the Merced Center every semester.
And about how many students do you serve there?
Right now, I would say about 100, if not more than that. Across all centers, we have over 1,400 students. But at Merced, since we're the baby of the group, we're still relatively small, but we're growing quickly.
And if folks are interested in finding out more about the Merced Center programs, what would be the next steps for them?
The next step is people have the option of either attending an information session, and those happen on the first Thursdays of every month at 5:30 at the Merced Center, which again is in the El Portal Plaza. Otherwise, if students want to do an individual appointment, I can meet with them at our center or wherever else might be of convenience. So that would be the first step. And then it's best if students are really interested to either submit a transcript or fill out the application process, and then they can go on from there.
And are you on a traditional track where there are, there's summer classes and then there's fall classes and spring classes?
We have 2 semesters, kind of fall and spring, and everything is done in those 2 semesters. Once students start in a cohort, so whether in the liberal arts, early child development, or organizational leadership, they are on a continuous program for 18 months. So their track is laid out for them for that 18-month period. Otherwise, if it's general ed and elective classes, those classes are offered every 6 weeks.
And we've got just another minute or 2 here left. Excuse me. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the program or about the Merced Regional Center?
Well, I would say that if you have never visited us, please don't hesitate to stop by. We are more than happy to give you a quick tour of our facility and answer any questions. And if you're the type of person that you maybe have been out of school for a few years or longer than that and are nervous about going back to school, don't let that stop you from coming in and talking with one of our representatives. We will work with you from the point that you walk in to the point that you walk across the stage at graduation and make it a very professional and possible program.
And so if folks wanted to contact you directly, what's the number?
The best number to reach our office at is 209-354-5900.
And I'm sure there's a website.
The website is very easy, fresno.edu/Merced.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Krista Saxon with Fresno Pacific's Regional Merced Center.
Thank you.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
All right, we're back with Community Conversations on KYOS. Thanks for tuning in. Next up, we have Steve Maxey, who has just graduated from Merced College with 3 AAs and has been accepted to UC Merced. And he's got a pretty interesting story about how he got here. Steve, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank y'all for having me.
So you graduated this past week. Oh, I guess when this airs, it will have been a week or 2 ago with 3 AAs. What were those in?
One in psychology, sociology, and international studies also.
Wow, well, that's quite a bit of work there.
I'm impressed myself, as a matter of fact.
And, so someone passed your name along to me and said that you had a pretty interesting story, and they met you at the Merced Rescue Mission's annual fundraiser.
Yes, it was a real pleasure for me to be a part of that, just to give back a little bit. And, that's a cliche you always hear, giving back, but it actually, to me, it means a whole lot. And I got to Merced probably as a fall of 2010, and a few bad incidents because of my lifestyle. I was homeless, had nowhere to go, and I was going to be in Merced for just a couple of days. And I went to the Merced Rescue Mission and was going to stay 2 days and ended up staying 2 years. And it was, for a bad time in my life, it turned out to be one of the best times.
And how so?
When I got to the mission, I was just like my lifestyle was absolutely terrible. I was doing a lot of drugs, been an addict for 30 years. And just after 2 days of being there, I received a bus ticket, and I called my mom, and I said, Mom, I've got this ticket to go home, but there's something about that place. I just got to go back and tell those guys thank you. And I went back that night, and my mom was like, what are you going to do? I understand a thank you, but can't you just say thank you and go? And I said, I'm just going to spend the night again. I appreciate what they did. And so I went back, said thank you, and they were like, hey, stay one more night. Stay one more night. The next chapel tomorrow night will be fantastic. You'll enjoy that. The guys were always so positive and encouraging, and I just felt like there was something there. And somebody put a hand on me and told me to stay there. I can't really explain what it was, but I was sure proud that I stayed there. And those guys, when I got there, I had nothing. And they gave me the stuff I needed, food. They gave me clothes, but they gave me hope. And that's one thing I hadn't had in a long time.
And so from there, so you ended up at the Merced Rescue Mission and stayed a little longer than you had thought. How did you get into Merced College and start taking classes?
That's a complete accident also, which was another really fun thing. That after about a month of being there, I was, during the morning we'd get up, and during the day we'd have to be gone and come back. And so when I first got there, I'd been using drugs for a long time, but something just made me want to. Those guys had stopped, and they were all happy. I figured, man, I could stop. So for the first few weeks, things were going really well, but then walking the streets all day is not the best thing for an addict to do. Mm-hmm. And so I was bumping into folks, and I was starting to do the same things again. So I told myself I need to find something to keep me busy during the day, and there's wasn't a whole lot of job opportunities here. So I thought, well, I'll volunteer somewhere. And I actually went to a nursing home and volunteered at this nursing home. And then that afternoon when I got back to the mission, somebody mentioned something that they'd walked by the college. And I said, there's a college here? Maybe I can take some classes. So the next day I walked down to the college, and just because somebody happened to mention it, I decided to go down there. And what a fantastic decision that was.
So you enrolled at Merced College, did you get some financial aid scholarships and anything like that?
I got the most amazing counselor, and I can't say that, but he's the only counselor I had, and he was fantastic. But I go and I wait in the lecture building, and they have a board. You wait for your name to come, and they'll tell you what office to go into, and luckily I got to go in Amir Fahali's office. Mm-hmm. And I walked in his office and told him I wanted to take some classes. And he's like, for the spring? And I said, for right now. And he goes, why didn't, school's been going on about a month. You should have signed up a long time ago. And I was like, he said, why didn't you? And I was like, man, that's a long story. And he said, well, you've got my time right now. So I told Amir, I was at the mission trying to change my lifestyle. And he's like, well, there might be one teacher that might let you in a class. And he sent me down to talk to her. And I went and talked to her, came back. She was going to let me in. And then he had me take some tests and got me some financial, everything, all in that day. And the most amazing thing that happened at the end of that day, Amir says, Stephen, he said, I want to tell you something. You're going to graduate from here, and you're going to go to the new school they built out there. And I said, you don't know me. I hadn't finished nothing in a long time. But I did all that, and that man saw that day.
And so you started your college career there.
Yes, sir.
And when did you decide that you were going to get 3 AAs? That's quite a bit of coursework.
Yeah, that was all because I went and bragged about joining the Honor Society. I got to be a member of the Honor Society, and that in itself was the first thing that kind of showed me that, I can, at first it was just school was a place to go to get off the street. But because the professors there are so fantastic, they can draw so much out of you that you don't even know that's inside. It's amazing, the professors I had and the people I met. And my English teacher, Miss Jennifer McBride, she's the head of and Mr. Pirro, Vince Pirro, but I had Miss McBride as a teacher, and she said, Steve, with your grades, you can join the Honor Society. And I was like, well, that's really not anything that I'm real interested in. But at the end of that semester, I thought, maybe I should do that. So I joined the Honor Society the next semester. And I went to a lady in the lecture building, Diane Sporks, and I was bragging to her, hey, I'm a member of the Honor Society. She said, you could do so much more. You could graduate with several AAs if you wanted to. And I was like, what? She said, yeah. And so she told me just to go talk to Amir, and I went and asked Amir, and he's sure if you want to do it. And sure enough, he set me on the course to do that. And it was a little extra work, but it was sure worth it.
A little extra work is probably an understatement, but congratulations on that. So you worked with the folks at Merced College and got your way into UC Merced. How did that happen?
Man, that's hard work. Good grades, a lot of studying, a lot of teachers. It was not just me. It was a lot of people. The people at the mission, I would go and have to do homework at night, and they would allow me to stay up and give me time to do that. The other folks at the mission, from the disciples there, from the people working there, from my friends off the street, we all kind of would sit around and do homework sometime. And it's like a little community project, and that was kind of fun. And I just managed to get all through that, actually.
And so you'll start at UC Merced this fall. And what do you plan on studying there? Do you want to continue with psychology?
Yes, sir. Psychology is what it'd be. I'm hoping one day that perhaps that I can run a mission or work at the mission here. And I think hopefully if all goes well, we'll have a new mission built here pretty soon, also in a year or so. And I'd really like to be a part of that. And psychology is what I'm going to study out there, minor in sociology. And I would like to do something definitely to stay around, and help the folks, some of the homeless folks and the needy folks on the street.
And what would you say if someone who's listening to this right now is homeless? What would you tell them to try to kind of get their life back on a good track? What would be a first step?
The first step would just be to know that you can do it. If I was able to do that in a time when I wasn't looking to do it, that if somebody wants to make a change, it's definitely possible. You're not going to do it by yourself. Surround yourself with really good people who can help you.
Wow. Well, what a great story. I'd love to have you come back on after you're done with UC Merced or sometime in between there. Great talking with you, Steve.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Steve Maxey, who will be starting at UC Merced this fall. Thanks for joining us.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KYOS. Thanks for tuning in. Next up, we have Diane Conway, Marketing Manager for the Merced County Fair. And goodness, the fair is right around the corner, Diane.
That's right, Nathan. It's coming up next week.
All right, so let's see. It is Wednesday, June 12th through Sunday, June 16th. And
that's right.
I think we've had enough interviews where I almost know what's going on every day. I know for sure the Agby is going on Thursday.
Yes, that
June
is
13th.
true. But there's so much going on. So, yeah, that's just one of the things. Our theme is still thank you, veterans. So we have a lot going on with the theme, but there are so many other things going on. I did want to promote the Run for the Fallen one more time. That's Saturday, June 15th, which is the Saturday of the fair, and it's not too late to sign up. You can sign up by going to their website, runforthefallen.org, and they also will have a booth at the fair on Wednesday and Thursday, so you can still sign up for that. 4.2-mile route. It's a walk or a run, so don't chicken out. If you don't want to run, you can also walk it, and it's for a great cause.
And that's at Applegate Park. It'll start at Applegate Park and go down the bike path?
On the bike path, correct.
And then circle back around?
Yes, starts at the flagpole, so you can do that, and that's for a great cause to honor the fallen here in Merced County, and that ties in with our Thank You Veterans theme. Mm-hmm. And then also on Saturday, we have the Merced County Fair movie night, and we will also have sign-ups that night. There will be some of the representatives from Run for the Fallen will be there. If you want to sign up for the run walk there, we will have little pink boxes will be there selling their yummy cookies before the movie. And the movie is Independence Day with Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. That's another big screen movie, so we're looking forward to that. Will just be another way to promote the fair. We can have all our information there if anybody needs more information about the fair. There'll be giveaways, free T-shirts, free passes to the fair, Merced Speedway tickets, Pablo Cruz T-shirts and CDs. The movie only costs $5, so be there.
Pretty good deal, $5.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time downtown, so everybody can get psyched up for the fair.
And I bet people can still get the early discounts if they buy them online or go to the fair office. There's
still time. Rancho San Miguel, you can get those tickets. You can get the 5-pack of tickets, buy 5, get the 4th one free, $20 only. So that breaks down to $4 for the general admission pass. And then you can get the Carnival all-day ride passes for $23, excuse me. But you have to buy them by Tuesday, June 11th in order to get those great discounts.
All right. So as far as, let's see here. I'm looking at my notes. We've got some other promotions, huh?
Yeah.
Bring 2 or more cans of food per
Right.
person.
Opening day, Wednesday, June 12th. If you bring 2 or more cans of food, and you give those to our volunteers in the Merced County Food Bank at any one of the 3 gates at the fair with your paid admission, that will get you a voucher to get free to the auto races, which is a $5 value. And you're also helping out a good cause with the Merced County Food Bank, because this is the time of year when they're kind of down, their cupboards are sort of bare. This isn't the time of year when people are thinking of donating to the food bank. So this is a great way to get into the auto races and see that for free and help out the Merced County Food Bank.
And let's see, entertainment and grandstand lineup. What's that looking like?
Oh, it's looking great. Like I said, auto races in the grandstand on Wednesday night, the 12th. Rhett Walker Band, Christian band's going to be at the outdoor theater that night. Tractor pull Thursday night with Pablo Cruz in the outdoor theater. And Friday night is Demolition Derby with Jason Michael Carroll in the outdoor theater. Bull riding Saturday night with Evolution, the ultimate tribute to Journey Band in the outdoor theater. And the Gran Jarapeo y Variedad, which is a rodeo and variety show on Sunday night with Corina Lopez in the outdoor theater wrapping it up on Sunday night.
Okay, I'm looking at the notes here, and there's something that I find hard to believe, and it is a Krispy Kreme donut burger.
That's true. We have it.
I've got my engineer Steve laughing over here.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had one, I have to tell you, but it sounds intriguing, and there's been a lot of people that are like, what? But everybody wants to try one.
A Krispy Kreme. There's probably, I'm going to say conservatively, 1,500 calories in that.
Oh, there might be. But you know what? When you go to the fair, you're just going to get a break on calories that night.
That can be
or
the
those
cheat
other
day.
nights, your cheat day. So yeah.
And if I'm looking at more of these notes. Fried pineapple.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds weird. It sounds
Something
good.
new, yeah.
Spaghetti ice cream?
Yeah, my understanding is I haven't tried that one either, but it's supposed to be a plate that resembles a plate of spaghetti. It's ice cream that's shaped like spaghetti noodles.
I'm going to have to run for like 4 miles before I go to the fair.
So it's a plate where the ice cream looks like spaghetti noodles, and then there are other additions with the ice cream to make it look like meatballs. And it's all a sweet dessert thing, but it resembles spaghetti and meatballs.
I'm glad that we made such a big part of this interview about the food at the fair.
Yeah, but we've got the traditional things, the corn dogs
Right.
and the milkshakes and the cotton candy and all that kind of stuff. But then there's the interesting fair type stuff. You got to have something on a stick and the fried food and all that. And there's always something new and different. Like, we haven't had fried pineapple before, spaghetti ice cream, or, Krispy Kreme burgers.
And I remember a couple of years ago, the big thing was the fried Twinkies.
Yeah, we don't have those this year, but it's like you got to try something new and different every year.
This
So, yeah.
Krispy Kreme donut burger sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, you'll have to come out and try one.
I'll
so.
run, like I said, as long as I can run for 4 miles.
Yeah,
I'll
we've
take
got
down
something
one of
for
each of these.
everybody. Well, you ought to do the Run for the Fallen on Saturday, and then you can come out and have one of the
There we
burgers.
go. There's the 4 miles right there. Okay,
That's
so
right.
I've got that weekend planned.
Great.
So Diane, again, if folks are interested in getting any of these discounts ahead of time for
Right.
bulk admission or for the wristband for the rides,
Right.
they can go to mercedcountyfair.com.
Right.
Or go to the fair office, and that is on MLK. Well, is that 59 or MLK? When you're
900 Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay,
Way.
so it is still MLK.
Weekdays 8 to 5. As it gets closer to the fair, you might want to check with our website to see what our hours are. And then also Rancho San Miguel every day from 10 to 7.
All right. Well, we've got just another second here. Anything else you'd like to add?
Come to the fair and
Come to
come
the
more
fair.
than once, because it's going to be great this year. And remember, we're thanking our veterans, so come on out. It's going to be great.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Diane Conway, Marketing Manager for the Merced County Fair.
Thank you.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KYOS. Thanks for tuning in. Next up, we have Maxwell Norton, Merced County Farm Advisor, here to talk about all the crops that are ready in the valley. Max, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be back.
Yeah, I haven't had you on in a while. So I know that we wanted to talk about some of the commercial crops that are ready in the valley here, but one thing that I really want to ask you is, because I've been going to the farmer's market a lot lately, is what is fresh there?
Well, what's fresh right now is strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and we should be seeing a lot of apricots right now because those trees are just getting ripe. So we have a lot of really neat fruit. All the spring fruits that we're used to here in the San Joaquin Valley are just now coming out of the fields. You can either go, a few growers allow pick and gather type operations, and then of course you can go down to the farmer's market and pick them all up down there, and you'll find them in the grocery stores. So it's a great time of year to be a Californian because we've got lots of them coming out of the fields, and that'll hold us over for a while till the summer fruits like peaches, nectarines, plums, and those types of fruits come off.
And when you say pick and gather, that makes me think of that farm up near Livingston. They have the festival.
That's
June
this
1.
Saturday.
Well, when this airs, it will have been last weekend.
Oh.
But yes, what is it? The River Dance Farm? So
Yeah. What happened last weekend was the pick and gather at River Dance Farms there on the Merced River between Cressy and Livingston.
I've been out there before. It is man, that is getting down in the fields and picking your crops. That is about as real farming as it gets. And I took my kids a couple of years ago, and they were blown away that we could actually go out there and do that ourselves.
People love it.
So something that I'm looking at my notes here, something that is kind of new to the valley is pomegranates. Maybe not new to the valley, but there's an uptick in production.
Well, pomegranates have been grown in a very limited basis here in the San Joaquin Valley for a very long time. And it seems like everybody's grandma seemed to have a pomegranate tree by their house. Mm-hmm. But several years ago, all of a sudden they started growing in popularity, and we got over 30,000 acres at the moment here in California. But pomegranates are a Mediterranean crop. They love warm, dry summers, and that's what we have. Mm-hmm. They're from places like Afghanistan and places like that, so you can imagine where they like to be. They don't do too well in places in the United States where they get a lot of rain in the summertime, so that cuts out a lot of the United States. So California is just really the ideal place to grow pomegranates. The major use for pomegranates here in California is for juice, actually, and they use the juice for a wide variety of food products or as an ingredient in other food products. A little bit of the pomegranates that we grow here in the San Joaquin Valley actually go to the grocery store as whole fruit. And you'll see those it's a very late fall type of fruit. I call it the Christmas fruit because it's bright red and they're still available at Christmas time, and people will use them for decorations a lot at Christmas time. Persimmons are great for decorating at Thanksgiving. Christmas time, pomegranates make nice table centerpieces.
Well, I know I've seen that juice. I think it's called POM, P-O-M. And it seems like that's gotten really popular in the past few years.
They're synonymous with pomegranates. They're based down in southern San Joaquin Valley. The Palm Wonderful organization, their sister company is Paramount Farms, and they farm not far from Merced County all the way down to Bakersfield. And they probably count for by far a majority of the production and processing here in the United States. They very aggressively advertised their products for several years, and that helped grow the market. And they're the ones who have that classic double ball type shaped bottle that everybody recognizes. They wanted to create something that was very unique, and they did a good job doing that.
And isn't it true that pomegranates are used in grenadine?
Yes. Yeah, grenadine syrup is a concentrated, sweetened syrup of pomegranate.
I always thought it was cherry. I just always assumed that. I don't know why.
No, it's not cherries. Yeah, it's actually pomegranates.
So right now we've got, as you said before, we've got strawberries, we've got blackberries. A lot of the berries are ready right around this time of year. And then later in the summer, we go into peaches and plums.
Yeah, the other stone fruit, peaches, nectarines, plums.
And why is that? Why are the strawberries and those berries ready at this time of the year, and then the other ones ready a little later?
Well, that's just the way Mother Nature engineered them. We have spring fruits, summer fruits, and fall fruits, and the spring fruits are the berries. And when the apricots start to come on, that heralds the beginning of summer. So you know summer's here when you see apricots showing up here and there.
And so those the berry fruits, or the ones that are ready right around now, are more,
especially here in the San Joaquin Valley.
and they're more resilient to the colder weather. Because they're planted in the winter.
Well, strawberries in Merced County are planted in August, September, and they grow throughout the winter and early in the spring, and then they'll be bearing in the springtime. And we're approaching the end of the harvest season for strawberries. Now, on the coast, most of the berries in California are actually grown on the coast, and berry capital of the world is probably Watsonville. That's where the big strawberry festival is held every year, if you ever go visit it. And they have a much longer season over there. They'll pick strawberries in, say, the Salinas Valley and in the Pajaro Valley and down in the Oxnard Plain over by Oxnard. They'll pick maybe for 6, 7, 8 months down there because they like that cool summer weather, and they'll just keep bearing. But as soon as it gets really hot here, the summer fruits like stone fruit do great, but the poor old berries, they just stop for the year.
So we're just about out of time here. If folks are interested in getting the best, freshest fruits, where would you suggest they go?
Well, I shop regularly, just like you do, Saturday morning at the farmer's market in downtown Merced, because there's always 3 or 4 people selling fresh fruit down there. And what I can't grow in my yard, I go down there and pick up.
And you know that those folks are local, at least within this area, this region of California. That's always appealing to me. And second, a lot of them are very upfront with what they've used to grow their plants.
It's a lot of fun to talk to them about how they farm, and they're very honest with you about how they grow things. The one in Saturday morning is what they call a certified farmers market, which means that most of what you are selling there you have to grow yourself. They're allowed to swap a little bit among growers, a certain percentage, but most of what they have on that table there they had to grow themselves. They're not allowed to go buy it at a wholesale market and then resell it.
Fascinating stuff. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Maxwell Norton, Merced County Farm Advisor.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KYOS. Thanks for tuning in. Next up, by telephone, we have Doug Hosner. He is the marketing director for the Gallo Center for the Arts, here to talk about the upcoming season's lineup. Doug, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Nice to have you on. I can't remember that we've had anyone from the Gallo Art Center on before, so it's always nice to hear from folks in this region that are doing great stuff out there. So I looked at the lineup. Boy, you have quite a few things lined up already. The first one that caught my eye was Chris Isaac.
It's an exciting lineup, isn't it?
It is. That and REO Speedwagon. You got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Let's start off this way. How far in advance do you guys book this kind of lineup?
Well, for this season, we actually probably started about a year ago. Mm-hmm. It takes a while to put all this stuff together. It's like, as my boss Lynn Dickerson says, it's like putting together a big jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, definitely, because you have to find the right date. You have to make sure that the guarantee's there, that you're going to get that kind of attendance. I bet it is quite a bit of work to put that into, to get a whole entire season lined up.
Yeah, you're dealing with all kinds of factors, the artists themselves, their agents, their schedules, their travel. So it is really quite complex. But, when it all comes out in the end and you get a season like we're about to have, it's really worth it.
So what are some of the highlights, or what would you like to discuss about this upcoming season? Well,
one of the things I'd really like to say before we talk about some of the specific performers or productions that are coming is that the Gallo Center depends a lot on the input we get from our patrons. We listen really carefully to what they have to say about the artists they want to see or the artists they don't want to see, what they think are fair ticket prices or what they think is too expensive. So this season, I think more than any other in our history, and this will be our 7th season, I think this reflects our patrons, and I'm really proud of that. There's a lot of diversity in the season, a lot of variety, something for everybody.
And what kind of resonated with your audience or with the folks that typically attend the shows? Do they want more country? Do they want more performing arts?
Well, what's interesting is how successful comedy has been here.
Mm-hmm. Same thing in Merced.
It's just really amazing. We started presenting comedy in 2009 which was about 2 years after the center opened. We started with John Cleese from Monty Python.
Right, from Monty Python,
And then we had Dana Carvey, and both shows sold out. And virtually every comedy show that we've presented since then has done rather well. I think there's maybe one exception to that, but everything has done really well. So this particular season, we've got some returning comics that have done well before, like Louis Black and Brian Regan. We've got Martin Short coming from Saturday Night Live. We've got Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. And a bunch of other great comedy. Johnny Mathis is going to open our season officially.
Wow!
Of course, he's one of the great romantic pop singers of all time. He's going to be here on September 21st. And but we have shows before that I'm excited about. You mentioned one of them, Chris Isaac, and he'll be in August. Also in August, we're going to have Straight No Chaser, the great a cappella group. Dave Cause, the smooth jazz superstar. We're going to have country singer Billy Currington. Those are all in August, so it's going to be a fabulous month. And then in in September, we formally launch with Mr. Mathis.
So then the official start of the season is somewhat similar to the school year. Starts in September.
Correct.
And then from there, what do you have lined up?
Well, we've got some great Broadway shows coming. One of them is called $1 Million Quartet, and it's based on an actual true story. It's a Tony Award-winning Broadway musical that's about a historical recording session that brought together Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins. And it's an electrifying show. It'll be here for 5 performances in November, and we can't wait for it to get here. We're also bringing Beauty and the Beast back, Memphis, which is a Tony Award winner for Best Musical in 2010. Stomp is coming back. These are all shows that have done, not all of them, but a couple of these shows have been here before and have done extremely well. So, you mentioned rock and roll, and we've got a lot of rock and roll in addition to Chris Isaac and REO Speedwagon, which you mentioned. We have Three Dog Night. There's a wonderful tribute to Ricky Nelson by his twin sons. It's really going to be a great season for rock and roll as well, and country.
And if folks are interested in purchasing tickets, where could they go online?
Well, our website address is galloarts.org, and our box office telephone is 209-338-2100. And
I'd imagine all of the upcoming acts are listed on your website.
That's correct. And as I'm speaking right now, we're mailing out tens of thousands of brochures to Gallo Center patrons. We'll be inserting the brochure as well into area newspapers, including the Merced Sun-Star. That'll be coming up in a couple of weeks. And so people will know our new season has been announced. It's going to be out there every place.
Well, it sounds like quite a lineup. That Chris Isaac show, I'm going to definitely go down to. You said that one's in August.
Yeah, that is. I'll give you the exact date here. It is August 10th, Saturday.
August. It's perfect. All right, I'm scribbling this down right now. Well, Doug, we've got just another minute here. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, right now what we're doing is we're selling subscription packages. You can either choose one of the packages that we have, like our Broadway series, or our Megahead series, or country, or family, or you can create your own series by ordering 5 or more shows. And if you order tickets this way, you save 15% as opposed to buying shows individually. So that's what we're doing right now. But the shows that, the sales for all the shows individually will start on June 10th, which is a week from this Monday.
All right, so June 10th is the official start date for all of the shows throughout the season?
All shows for, single ticket buying. So
all right.
That'll be a very big week here.
And again, what is the website?
It is galloarts.org.
Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us. We're now out of time, but great having you on. Doug Hosner, he is the marketing director for the Gallo Center for the Arts.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
We're back with Community Conversations on KYOS. Thanks for tuning in. Next up, we have Jeremy Ron. He's with the Merced County Office of Emergency Services and CAL FIRE, here to talk about the new Merced County Emergency Notification System. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So I had one of your colleagues on the show probably about 2 months ago now, Ed Banks.
Correct.
And he was talking about the same system, so I know a little bit about it. But it seems like you guys haven't had, or I guess it's kind of difficult to really get the word out and get people to sign up for this.
Correct. We've been working with all 6 cities as well as the Sheriff's Department, and we've been trying to get the information out to all the schools, advertising in local paper. Channel 30 just did a feature on it, as well as yourself. And basically, it's summed up in one word. If we can't alert you, if we can't notify you, how are we going to alert you in case there is an emergency?
No, and that's a really good point. Not as many people, myself included, have landlines anymore. I think there's been a huge shift to go to cell phones.
Correct.
And other forms of communication. So is that a big obstacle for you guys?
What this system is it rolled out back in November, and what it does is it gives us the capabilities to notify you by text message or call you on the cell phone. We can email you. We can fax you critical information on what's occurring on the addresses that you've registered into the system for. Mm-hmm. And registration is really easy. You just go to the Merced County website and click on the icon to notify for emergency alerts, and you register. And as you register through that system, you're able to select 5 different locations that you'd like to be notified. For example, let's say that you would like your parents' house, your house, other relatives, maybe your son or daughter's school. Anywhere in Merced County, you can register those addresses. In the event that there was an emergency notification at that address, you would be notified. Now, with that being said, you also select the priorities of being notified. Say your first priority may be to get a text message, or your second priority may be able to get an email. You can set up your parameters however you want to be notified for those emergencies.
So then you guys also do, besides a phone call, you would do a text notification.
Correct. Well, however you would set up that system is some people would prefer to get a text message. And the way the system is set up, if you choose, say, 3 options, and number 1 is text message, and number 2 is email, and number 3 is phone, the system will send you a text message. You respond that you got that message, and then we know that you were notified. If you don't respond, then we would go to your second selection, where, say, an email, and so on and so forth, as it would validate it. The other component that's important in this is it allows people with special needs or that have special skills to register their information as well. Let's say that a person is in a wheelchair and needs special assistance to get out of the residence in the time of an evacuation. When we look at that geographical area, we would be able to pinpoint that location and be able to have the Sheriff's Department or whoever go in and provide extra assistance.
And the website, again, is www.co.merced.ca.us/alert.
Correct.
That would be the website that folks can go to, sign up for any of the things you've just described there.
Exactly. And what we're looking at is each time the clocks change in daylight savings time is we're looking at sending a notification through the system just to let people know that the system is functional, as well as to update their information. If you change your phone number or email address, you can log into the system and update that information at any time.
And besides folks who have special needs, you had said that there also is a section for people to put that they have volunteers some kind of skills.
Correct. If let's say that you're a nurse or a doctor or a Red Cross volunteer, or you're trained in CPR, you also have those options to put those in there. So in the event of a disaster, if we needed to utilize those resources, we could.
We've got about 1 minute left here. Jeremy, is there anything else you'd like to add?
The last thing that's critical is when you register for the system, each person in your household needs to individually register. For example, my daughter does not have the same cell phone number I have. So if I set up the system to get a text message, I need to register her into the system as well, so that way she could get the information to her email address, her cell phone, and her texting.
But you could also, let's say you signed up and there's 5 different
Correct.
devices or addresses you can put in there. Hers could be one of them.
You could do that,
Okay.
But it doesn't allow you to send, like, most of these children nowadays, they text quicker than I can talk. With it only allows you one component to send an actual text message with, and that's what a lot of people are looking at receiving alerts now, is by text and by email.
Well, then, and again, that website is www.co.merced.ca.us/alert. We are now out of time, but thanks so much for joining us, Jeremy Ron with the Merced County Office of Emergency Services.
Thank you.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.
We're back with Community Conversations on KYOS. Next up is Anthony Presto. He is with the San Joaquin Valley Air District, here to talk about a new rebate program for old lawnmowers. Anthony, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. So this new program, right before the interview, we talked about a little bit. It's kind of different than what you guys have done in the past.
That's right. This is a very popular program called Clean Green Yard Machines that the San Joaquin Valley Air District has been doing for quite a few years. And it's a little different this year. This year it's a rebate program, and there's a possibility of getting as much as $250 back when you purchase a cordless electric lawnmower. Now, the other part of it is that you also need to turn in a gas lawnmower as part of the process. Really important that you go to our website if you're interested in this program, and that's valleyair.org/lawnmowers to find out about this program so that you get all of the details correct and make sure that you go through the process the way it's set up to be. And you want to get that application. You can maybe get the application off of our website. You can walk into any one of the 3 Air District offices in Modesto, Fresno, or Bakersfield and pick up the application. And then what you do is you purchase one of the authorized cordless electric lawnmowers, and there's a list of 14 of them this year. So you're not just limited to one mower. And after you've purchased that mower, you take your old gas mower to one of our participating recyclers in Merced County. I know there's at least one. There may be more. We had been working with Atwater Iron and Metal. I'm sure they're still working with us on that. And you can take a look at the list on our website to find out what other recyclers are involved. And they'll give you a verification sticker for your application showing that you've turned in your gas mower, and then you get it to us at the Air District.
So the idea is someone can go down and they can buy one of these new, of the list of 14 approved electric mowers, and then they would take in their gas mower to a site that is on your website. You said that those sites are on your website. Once they take that one in to get recycled, they would get a sticker or something that designated that they did actually take this in.
Exactly.
And then you get the rebate.
Right. And we really want to help out the recyclers too by making sure that the mower has been drained of all fluids, because some of them won't accept it if it has been. But also, it's important that you realize that we want to get just working mowers. We want those working mowers off the streets that are emitting air pollution, because one lawnmower is equivalent to about 40 newer vehicles on the road. And lawnmowers are a lot different than cars. Cars have improved so much in their emission standards, but lawnmowers have not. And that's why cars now are a lot cleaner than a lawnmower is, and especially in some of those two-stroke engines. So it's really important that we do everything we can in our daily lives to reduce air pollution. And this is one of those items, at your home that's actually emitting pollution. And just about everything that you're using in your yard that burns gasoline, there's an alternative that's electric or manual that works just as well. And it's really important that residents realize that.
And of that list of the 14 approved electric mowers, do they have to be purchased from a specific store?
Yeah, also on our website are the lists of these mowers and their websites, so you can find out what the authorized dealers are. But they're going to be your standard, large
Lowe's, Home Depot,
exactly.
Those kind of stores.
They're going to have those, and just to name a few of these mowers, we've got the Black & Decker and the Earthwise and Green Station, Newton, which we've worked with for a long time. So Steel, many of these are very recognizable to most people, and there's others as well.
We've got just about another minute or so left here. Again, what's the website, and is there a phone number folks can call?
Yeah, if you have more questions on this, you can go to our website anytime at valleyair.org/lawnmowers, or you can call the Air District at area code 559-230-5800, 230-5800.
And again, this is a program for old lawnmowers, and you buy a new lawnmower, one of these 14 approved electric ones, take your old one to an approved recycling site, and you get a rebate back.
That's right.
Sounds like a pretty good deal. Thanks so much for joining us, Anthony Presto with the San Joaquin Valley Air District.
Merced County's news voice since 1936. News Talk 1480, KYOS, Merced.